Hey guys, welcome back. This is Liz.
And this is Mel.
And we have a special guest joining us today. You guys might already know her. We have Jo Lam. She is the founder and CEO of Project Beauty, a Dallas nonprofit organization that strives to restore confidence in survivors of domestic violence, sex trafficking, and homelessness. They empower through beauty and teaching self-empowerment. Jo is an advocate, mentor, and speaker. As a domestic violence survivor herself, she has learned to turn her pain into power and is now on a mission to empower the women around her and remember their divinity. Well, Jo, say hi.
Hi.
I love
that. That is so beautiful.
It is.
When I asked her to send me a bio, I was like close to tears reading it.
Really?
And just, it's so powerful. It came with so much power, and I know the passion you have was already spoken in those words.
Thank you.
And so thank you for joining us.
Oh my gosh. No, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah.
You girls are amazing. So
You're doing amazing things. I know when we met back in October, I was like, we were so fresh in the world of networking and events and meeting new people. I went there by myself.
yeah.
And I remember just being like, I don't know how I'm gonna do, like literally clamming up, like I don't even know if I should talk and say what I do and who I am. And you literally welcomed me to be brave enough to stand up and be like, hey, like, we're Modern Day Mujeres and we're a podcast. And there was so much love in that room and so much support right away that I was like, okay, this was meant to be, like, I'm here for a reason.
Exactly.
And Jo was the reason.
Oh my gosh. You guys.
I love it.
Well, to hear that from you about our events, about why we create the space that we do in the Dallas community, that means the world to me. And everything that we do, we strive to empower women to really step out into their fullest calling.
Yeah.
I had no idea that that was like the beginning of your networking journey, because to me you were so natural.
Oh,
you know?
really?
You did. I had no idea. But that just
Thank you.
speaks for so much of how we hold ourselves back, right? In just that instance right there, no one knew but you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I was probably at the point that I was like, I'm so nervous to just talk in front of so many beautiful women and who were pros, who are there, they're networking, they're bloggers, they're food bloggers, they're, you know, beautiful women who have businesses or, you know, just small networking. And so I was just like, all right, I'm gonna put myself out there. Let's see where that goes. But what you do for Project Beauty and what you've created with it, how long ago did that start?
So Project Beauty, at the seed, I felt like was planted in me from the time that I went to a shelter, right? So just a little background. As a survivor, I actually had to go to a shelter back when I was younger, like around 18. I grew up in a very domestic abuse filled household. My dad was very abusive to my mom and my sisters. And then running away at a very young age, I found myself in the exact same pattern that I was in at home, right? Because I thought that's what love felt like.
Yeah.
So, and so I got caught up in a very bad relationship, and I almost lost my life many, many times in that relationship. But one of the instances that I always tell people is that I was branded one night. When I was with this man, and I was left in the closet, and I was bleeding, and I was in and out of consciousness, and I remember just saying to God, what is my purpose? Because if there is a purpose, I need to know. I didn't feel very worthy. I felt that things never went right for me. I just felt like there was no purpose, so why should I exist? So a series of events took place shortly after that, and I was able to escape to a shelter. So when I lived at a shelter, and I remember like getting help on clothes, food, you know, just getting your life together. But the healing itself from being a woman in a battered situation, not just a battered situation, but mentally brainwashed to think that I am nothing, that healing was really on my own. I mean, I saw therapists, and I went to see licensed psychologists and all of that for a long time after I left the shelter. but the healing has to be from within.
Yeah.
I have to see it for myself, what it means to know that I'm worthy enough to not repeat those patterns that I kept putting myself in, right? And that meant to be in a relationship with anyone that violates my boundaries.
Yes.
So Project Beauty was created, I want to say 2018, April of 2018. I created the organization. I had no idea how it was going to look, but the calling was just too strong. Like I kept seeing it and I kept feeling it, and it was like God just put this vision in my heart, and I knew it was time to act. And instead of me being afraid and wondering how people were going to judge because I didn't have a logo or a website, I just started doing the work. I just put fear aside, and I started calling shelters. I started doing the research. I started working on all of the items that I would need to really get Project Beauty into a legitimate nonprofit. Just doing the work. And when you align yourself with your purpose, the doors just open. And very quickly in 2018, we brought on like 3 to 4 shelters, like right off the top. They literally were like, I'm so glad you called us. We were just looking for an organization like yours. Every shelter I called. And if you guys ever called a shelter, it's very unusual that the first call you get is to the program director. So I saw all of the signs, and I saw all the synchronicities. I'm like, okay, this is the path that I'm supposed to be on. So in 2019, we have our tax exempt status. So in the first year officially was 2019. We celebrate our 1-year mark in May, which was huge for us. You know, because we started out with just me and then like a couple of volunteers here and there. Right now in February 2020, we have over 100 volunteers, and we serve. I think as of today, we have 9 different organizations that we serve. Some of the shelters that we serve in the area are Hope Store.
We recently heard of Hope Store.
We serve Samaritan Inn. That's a new partnership that we brought on this year. So we work with a lot of different nonprofits that service survivors of domestic violence, sex trafficking, and homelessness. We want to focus on the demographic because the women and children that are in those shelters are the ones that are needing help right away. I did not want to just focus on the women and children in the shelter because I realized, after meeting so many women in the community, that many women in the community are in need of healing as well. So that's when I started to get more involved with events that can include the women in the community and gave them the space to be vulnerable and speak up, but also have a give back. That's how all of our events are tailored to. We want to have an intention that we're going to help the women that come to the events, but we're also going to use our power, our energy intentionally to give back and move our movement forward.
Because together you can do
so much more.
Was that because that was something that you had wanted when you were going through the same situations?
I like I said, when I lived at a shelter, I didn't feel like there was that peer-to-peer support. I mean, when you live at a shelter and when you come out of a domestic abuse situation, you don't trust people to begin with. So
that's true.
To form friendships was very hard, and because I was homeless after that too, I didn't have that stability to make friends. I remember like going on my first job interview, I would save up and I would go get a blowout. Like that was my way of treating myself. And I remember that no matter how crappy I felt going into the salon, when I walked out, I felt like my world was perfect. It was like, look at my hair. I mean, it sounds vain, but the truth is, when we look good and feel good, our energies elevate. We feel different.
There's a higher power there.
It really is.
Right? We really can't deny. We're girls. We like to look pretty. There's nothing wrong with that. So I remember feeling that way, and I just thought, wow, what if we gave that same joy and that same happiness to women who are experiencing something difficult? That's really where all of this came from.
Because it's that little speck of confidence that it gives them to like speak up and speak your truth, and you know, because they are afraid. When you feel a certain way, you don't want to speak up about anything that's happened in your life.
That's true.
Girl, you give them the little sassy, you know,
they change completely. Like,
they're a whole different person.
I mean, this story I always share with everyone. We were at Mosaic Family Services in Dallas. They are one of the only multicultural shelter that caters to women from another country. Okay,
Wow.
so they host they take in a lot of women that are from the sex trafficking rings, and these women are here illegally because they're sold here. And so a lot of the women that we service in that shelter do not speak English. So there's that language barrier, there's the trust barrier. But one thing that is universal, guys, is when we say, let's do your hair, let's braid your hair, let's put some makeup on. When we bring the makeup out and we bring the nail polish out, boom, right there, there's a connection made. These women know we're here to just look beautiful. When we went last time, there was a beautiful girl there from India who, the moment she saw herself with her new hair and makeup, she just bursted into tears. She said, I was never allowed to wear makeup. I was not allowed to get my hair cut. She had no power in her life. Everything was under the control of another human being. And for her to see herself in that light, it was so much for her. She ran upstairs, put on some new clothes that the shelter just gave her. And she goes, please take some pictures for me. I want to remember today. And she actually still it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's inspirational.
You can't do that for anyone else if you don't put that through that experience. So she writes us all the time. And you know, she writes us on Facebook all the time to let us know that she actually got a job at the bank. She's now a teller. She's already moved out of the shelter, and she told me, she said, the day that you guys came in and I saw myself for who I am, I knew I can do it. And this is what we mean when we say every act of kindness matters. You don't have to have a nonprofit to do all these big things. If in your everyday life you are doing it with kindness and love, and you make one person smile, you've accomplished the same thing.
That's
so
true.
It's about just showing others that everything that we do can be intentional, and then just see the world change.
I know that word, and I said it earlier, as like my word for the year is intentional. Like everything that I do has a purpose for finding like something higher for myself. Like what is my journey and what inspires me and brings me happiness aside from my day-to-day, you know, like outside of that, for me, what makes my soul happy. And I think that word and intention or intentional is just, it's not just one basis, but it means like so much more. And what you're doing with Project Beauty and everything that you've done now with the events leading up to it, now you're doing mentorships.
So
how did that start?
You know what, I have a lot of women that reach out to me on a one-on-one basis, like from the beginning, based on my story. You know, I'm very vulnerable when I share my story, because I know that is to inspire someone else to come out of their shell, to come out of their suppressed emotions. So when I put myself out there and I'm able to be vulnerable, other women felt safe with me. And I recognize that is a sacred gift that I have been given.
That's your power.
That is. And I asked God, and I said, okay, I'm just a vessel. You know, like I'm just a channel. And because of that intention, women that needs help, when they need help, whether it's business, their life, whatever it is that they feel they're unsure about, how to move forward, right? They know they're meant for more, but there's something holding them back. They don't know what it is, but there's just something beyond. They can feel it in their gut. It's like they know to come to me. And we work one-on-one. I see women, actually I had a client today, you know, and she's been looking to move out of her 9-to-5 into her dream passion. So I help women like that. I help women who are entrepreneurs and they've reached a certain level, but there is a limiting belief that is holding them back from going to the level that they know they can be. I'm going to help those women shift those limiting beliefs. That's what I do, and I love it. I love doing it. I do it already with my organization. I can't help but just share that same love.
Continue and spreading.
And I'm grateful that I get to do this every day. As what I do for my living. I had to make some very hard choices about 2 years ago to design the life that I live. But that is the courage that is needed if you want to wake up every day and say, God, I love my life.
Yeah.
There's not one day that I wake up and go, oh, I gotta go to this meeting. Like, no, I cannot wait. I have to stop myself from working on quote unquote work because I am just so passionate about everything that I do.
And you can tell that. I mean, you're speaking with so much like you. Hopefully, our listeners can feel it as much as like I feel it when we're in this room right now.
And that's what it means to do something that you love.
Yes.
You know, like you turned whatever bad happened to you into something good.
That's right.
You know, and we say this all the time, like you can't be a victim to every single thing that's happened to you.
You make those choices.
You make the choice to do what has happened to you and make it better.
That's right.
That is part of your healing, and I see that in you, and it's so heartwarming because I feel like that's what we try to do here is that even though we have gone through crappy situations, like this is part of our healing. Like sharing our vulnerabilities with people is our healing, and you have a voice and we want you to share your voice, and this is just so awesome, and I love that you're sharing this with us.
It's a divine gift. It's a divine space. We are definitely more than our avatars that we're sitting in.
For sure.
And having that intention just makes this experience, this human experience, that much amazing, you know?
And I have a question for you, Jo. For any woman out there that has a sense of unworthiness or unlove for themselves, if you could give like a little bit of a word of encouragement, can you let them know like what has been like that for you?
No, that's great. I get that all the time. So for women who see themselves unworthy or maybe insignificant is another word, right? I think, and significance is actually my word for this year. So I love that you asked me this because I have a story, if it's okay,
of course,
to share for women, and I love that I get to share it for the first time on the show. So I don't know if you guys ever do puzzles. Like those really big 1,000 pieces puzzles.
I used to when I was behind Liz.
Okay. So let me tell you guys, when Kai was 4, because my son is highly intelligent, he talked me into buying a 1,000 piece puzzle. Yes, a 4-year-old. That was the biggest mistake ever.
Wow.
So, but I took home this puzzle and I remember like going, I'm going to really work on this, you know. And there are these little pieces, right? I mean, you don't know what you're working on. No. But there is this, you know, that it's going to come together and it's going to look beautiful. And I remember like going at it for like 3 days straight thinking, I'm going to finish this in a week, like no problem. Right? But then like after 3 days, you're completely burnt out. You can't even see what piece fits into what. And all of a sudden you're questioning everything. You're questioning, why did I do this? Like, am I not smart enough? Everything. Right? Then, you know, you walk away and you come back. And then you get a fresh perspective in life. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm starting to see how it fits in. Okay. So then I finished the puzzle. And I realized that in the middle of the puzzle, out of all the pieces, there is this one piece missing. Oh, God. Now, so just picture this. There is this 1,000 piece puzzle that we have been just working on diligently. And I was like, I got the camera ready. I was going to show it off on Instagram because I've been talking about it to my followers. Like, you guys can't wait to see this masterpiece. And literally in the middle of that puzzle, there is this one piece missing. And at first, my son's like, that's okay, Mommy. Like, we can see it. It's beautiful. Like, I can tell what the picture is. And it was dinosaurs, by the way. I'm like, we can tell that it's the dinosaurs. But when you look at this puzzle, this masterpiece, you would think that that one piece is so insignificant. You think, there's 1,000 other 999 pieces out there. What is so important? But guess what? That one little piece makes that masterpiece. And when I was in my meditation the other day, that was the story that was brought to me when I talked about significance. We all think that we don't matter because there's so many other people trying to do the same thing. Why would they listen to me? Who am I? There's nothing that I hold that could be that significant. But the truth is, you hold a piece in this universe. And
that's
without
so
that
beautiful.
piece, it's not complete.
It's not.
So if you are listening to this episode and you followed along my story, if you're feeling unworthy, if you're feeling like you're not important, you are that puzzle piece.
Yeah.
And you better believe that without you, it wouldn't be the same.
It's not a masterpiece.
Absolutely.
It's not.
That's beautiful. And I know this story resonates one part of an everyday life. You know, I know there's not always, we always feel beautiful. There's we always feel perfect.
That's right.
So it's just like, you have to take that one moment and let it not define you.
Exactly. And I love that the thing that you said of like not going back day after day and like, you know, you're feeling defeated. You know, so you take a break over it. And that's exactly what she kind of says. Like, you're not going to feel like that every day.
You're not.
You know? So
it may be because you're just tired.
Yeah, and the power is in you.
Yeah.
You know, you know what? I'm just going to walk away, take a breather, count to 10.
I'm going to have a couple bad days, but you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to kick ass, you know?
Exactly. I'm not quitting. I'm just taking a break.
Yes.
Right? Because trust me, I thought about, like, should I hide the puzzle and act like the puzzle disappeared? Trust me, girls. On day 4, I was like, man, should I pull some tricks to get this puzzle out of my house?
The wind blew it out.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I mean, he's 4, right? What is he going to ask me? I was like, no, you can't do that. Like, you're halfway done. Like, you can't do that to this kid.
Right.
So, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to look at it. I'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
So we're entitled to that.
Yeah.
We don't have to keep beating our heads against the wall. If we have 3 bad days, it's not forever. It's not.
Yeah, it's just those moments. And that's very, very beautiful story. I really like that because we don't realize that. We don't realize it in ourselves, and it sometimes takes those words to be said and to be heard. And then hopefully this does help someone that is just going through a tough time or has a moment.
That's right.
In this beautiful long life, you know, that, you know, we just go day to day going through things. You're not the only one out there. And I think that's the space that we hold for anyone to ever know that if you're feeling that way, all of us here in this room have felt it too.
Yes. If you're human, if you're breathing, you're in the group.
Come on now.
For sure. Yeah, we're always going to have a bad day. We're not going to let one bad day define who we are.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what, guys? That bad day could be a year. I just want to be honest. As someone who struggled with depression, anxiety for most of her life, sometimes when we look at a year or 2 years, we're like, oh my God, it feels like it's never going to stop. But the truth is,
that's so true.
When you look at the bigger picture, at some point, if you hold the hopes of knowing that one day you can look back at this period of your life and you can say that, okay, what, this was just a speck in a life. You know that it's okay. You know what I mean? Because by worrying in the moment, you're not doing anything any better anyway. Yeah. So you may as well use that energy to believe. Yes, exactly. Use your energy otherwise. With everything that you've done now up to this point, I want to ask, like, has it been challenges that you face that, you know, I think we see like the highlight reel of the amazing things you've done. And, you know, you shortly spoke about you didn't have a website. You didn't even have a logo. Like, how is that working out? But besides that, I mean, just having that motivation. Yeah. So, great question. Everyone struggles. No one is, you know, omitted from that. Okay. Like I tell people all the time, Instagram, social media, anything that people see online, it is the highlight reel. Of course I go through struggles. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, I was having a huge case of imposter syndrome. And I mean, when I talked about this with other people in the community, they were just shocked. They were like, Joe, but you're like the most confident person I know. I'm like, yes, that's the case. I am very confident, but it doesn't mean that I'm not human. I still have moments where I doubt myself, just like everyone else. I'm not just some enlightened individual living in a mountain somewhere, right? Like, sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, Joe, are you having a moment today? Okay, give yourself that space. There you go. Allow yourself to have that awareness that you're having a moment. And then really simply tell yourself, well, what are the lies and what are the truths? Right? And maybe that lie to you today is, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. Why am I in this position? Oh my God, I'm a fraud. All of those things could be your lies. But you have to know your truth. Your truth is you're here for a reason. It's not luck that got you here. You work hard just like everyone else.
Yes.
And you don't have to know everything to lead. You just have to know enough to go the right direction.
Yeah.
And
There
whoever
you go.
that's behind you, that's who you're going to help.
Yeah.
That's all you have to know. And when you just have that awareness that that's it, that's really what this is, you're not going to just have all of the weight of the world on you. When you take expectation out of the equation
There
and what
you
other
go.
people think, you free yourself.
Yeah.
There you go. That's amazing.
You free yourself, yeah.
And that's hard. I mean, you're just like speaking to me right now because I'm actually going through this, you know, and I've been vulnerable in saying like I've been dealing with anxiety and depression really like probably at a high right now.
Yeah.
But it's like I have to tell myself, just like you're talking about, like lying to my, like I know the lies, you know, but it's something up here that's telling me like this is what I'm going through, but I still see the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's
like
right.
I'm gonna get past this,
Yeah.
and I'm confident in that. But I have to allow myself to go through these feelings.
Yes.
You wouldn't be
Yeah.
human if you can't say like I struggle. I have moments of weakness.
Yeah.
I can't right now.
Exactly.
We have to allow ourselves to have a few
Yes.
can'ts, won'ts, and you know,
Yes.
I just not today.
and you know, and part of that is like having the anxiety of having to explain that to people.
Yeah.
You know, because they do feel like you have to be happy all the time. And
Right.
it's like, yes, I look happy. Yes, I look confident, but that's not all the time.
Right.
And I want people to understand that you can't believe everything that you see on my Instagram or my Facebook. Like I could be smiling in a picture, but did you know that picture was about 10 months ago and I'm not there 10 months ago? So
Right.
that's, you know, that's what I want people to realize, that you can't really judge everybody by what you see. Yeah.
and have that expectation for them to just snap out of it. I think that's the
Oh,
really
yeah.
hard truth
Yeah.
of it all. Is like I can be here preaching, be happy, be positive, and you know this and that. But I do that with the intention that you don't need those words right now. And I have to be okay with you not needing those words.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you can probably look back and be like, you know what, there was a moment I heard these words. Let me go back and
Yeah.
hear those words once again and remind myself of love and positivity. And you know, I think it
Yes.
just is just putting it out there one way or another, because they know that the community we have started building, like even like on our Facebook, like you don't have to always just be posting like happy posts and this
Yeah.
and that and my life's perfect. But when we allow ourselves that moment of vulnerability, it gives you a power in that truth that you have.
Yeah.
So it's just like I do preach the positivity, but because I don't want to add what I would say like more negativity out there, like for
Right.
myself.
No,
like
yeah,
because I
get
feel
it.
like once I in a way I kind of suck myself into like a negative space and the world is against me and woe is me, I just feel like it just keeps sucking me in. And it keeps sucking me in, and I'm like, okay, do I want to channel this energy the way that it's coming to me, or am I going to step back, take a couple breaths, and then look at it from a different perspective?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the self-awareness, because you
Exactly.
understand what you're going through, and like
Yes.
I know I'm gonna get over this. It's just being
Exactly.
aware that this is just a moment in life right now that I'm gonna get over it. You know, it's just allowing myself to go through it and not sulking in these feelings and like woe is me and you know my life is sad, but it's really not sad. It's just my brain telling me it's sad.
Yeah, it's if you look at it this way, it's about the season that you're in. Right?
Yes.
I tell people all the time, there is a season for everything. You look at nature, right? There's 4 seasons for a reason. So right now, in your anxiousness, you have to understand that that's just the time for that right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And that season will change, right? So when you have that awareness that it's a season and not a continuous thing, that you're gonna move forward at some
Right.
point, that keeps that light for you.
Yeah,
So just
absolutely.
remember that there's a season for all.
Yeah.
The trees don't look at themselves in the winter and go, "Oh my God, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
Am I gonna come back? Am I gonna come back?"
Are
But we
release coming
do.
back?
But we
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
And let me tell you,
So true.
the eternal energy that is floating through the trees is the same energy that floats through us. So we're gonna come back.
Yeah.
We can come back from anything.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Yeah, that's very true. I really like all your words because you did a public speaking, guest speaking.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great. The one on Sunday, the panel. Yeah, it was great. It was such an intimate gathering. We had about 25 women that came in for like a day retreat workshop, and we did a lot of transformational activities. We spoke words of affirmation. It was just another empowering event where women left feeling full. Yeah. Their hearts were full, their souls were full. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. I got to see your flyer, and then I was like, I want to know more about it. But I was like, great, she's going to be here.
Yeah.
But that's really good.
We'll be doing more of those. We'll be doing more of the events that will allow people to come in just to come be open and chat, but still have fun. Like, we're doing a pop-up dining series soon, starting in April. Because, like, good conversation always happens over food.
Yes.
Okay? And not gonna lie, I love to eat. I mean, I don't miss a meal. And I am a kind of a foodie. And so me and a really great friend of mine, her name is Chef Kez, we are partnering up to do a Eat, Love, and Laugh series where it's just for women to come and eat. But let me tell you guys, the food is prepared by internationally known chef. She does consulting work, and she does the menu for some of the best restaurants in the world. And I've had her food. Let me tell you, this is a pop-up experience you do not want to miss.
Oh my gosh.
So that's coming in April. It's coming in April, so I would definitely follow Project Beauty on Instagram, all social medias, to make sure you guys stay up to tune with everything.
Yes, for sure.
Great. So I have a question. So where do you see Project Beauty in 5 years?
Oh, wow. It's funny because, like, I know that as the CEO, I should have a very clear vision of where we should be in 5 years. But the thing is, I don't really believe in specific goals.
Okay.
I set intentions for the organization. What I see Project Beauty, even in the next couple of years, is really deepening the relationship for women in the community to come together more authentically and more intentionally, but also to create the environment where women and men and children, I guess the whole community, right, for them to see that self-healing should be the priority.
Yes.
The culture is already shifting into that direction now, where people understand that self-care is not just for women, self-love is not just for women, it's for everyone. It's about being healthy, spirit, body, and soul, right? Everything. So I see Project Beauty changing that landscape in the Dallas area and also other cities, because it is something that everybody needs. We have to change who we are inside and who we are inside before we can effectively go out and pursue the purpose that we're meant to do. So my intention is to grow that everywhere that we go. And for more organizations to see and more businesses to support our movement towards that self-love journey.
That's great. Sure. That's awesome. I love it.
That's already out there. It's being manifested.
Yeah, that's right.
It's already there. You've already manifested it.
You're already manifesting.
You've already have this idea of what you want to do, and you're allowing that to grow in its own time. And I love that.
Thank you.
I definitely see that going everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful movement, and I know that the more people hear about it, the more people are aware about what you do as a nonprofit. The opportunities are endless for you, and with the energy you bring, who would not want to be on board? You're just this amazing energy from you that I can feel like it just radiates, like positivity, radiates just so much confidence in what you're doing. I know that's why people are so drawn into you as a person. So I'm really glad you were able to join us. But let us know where on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, so you can find us on our website. That's number one resource for you to see all the events.
Perfect.
That's open to the community, events that volunteers can actually come and volunteer on board, because we do go to shelters and provide beauty services on a regular basis. So if you're a beauty professional, if you're just someone in the community looking to connect with other women in events that includes a give back factor, go to our website. That's www.theprojectbeauty.org.
Perfect.
Okay. Or you can find us on Instagram. Just put in the hashtag projectbeautydfw and you'll see all of our posts come up. Same thing on Facebook, Project Beauty DFW.
Perfect.
So, and we're always looking for donations. So beauty products, beauty bags, monetary donation. We welcome all of that.
Yeah.
And just come to our events, share our posts. You know, you can support us in so many different ways.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I know every chance I get, like an event's coming up, because I know when we did the food event, people were like, who is that? Like, what are you doing? And I was like, you guys have to check them out. I know every chance I get, I'm like, for sure, we'll share it.
And I'm so glad that this was available, like you decided to do this, because we have had people that have been through domestic violence situations and they have been so afraid to talk up about their experiences. And I just love that you exude this positivity in your experience, and thank you for doing this. Absolutely.
I tell people it's the best thing that ever happened to me. It doesn't make sense, but it was my stepping stone to what I'm doing today. So I do accept it, and I give gratitude to it.
Yes,
so.
That's the key. That's and I say this all the time, and it's like I show gratitude to the things that have hurt me, because without it, I wouldn't have known what I wanted to do.
What you were capable of too.
Exactly.
Yeah, what you're capable through hardships is like the most beautiful thing of it all. But yes, for sure, make sure you guys check out Jo. And we have a live studio audience before we leave. Ruana. If you guys don't follow her, right? She's here. Just listen to us, right? Yes. But yeah, guys, make sure you give them a follow and check them out. And for any other information that you might need, just contact Jo through Project Beauty. And yeah, guys, she's doing amazing things. So give her a follow and, just support each other. And that's all that it's about. So until next time, guys, bye.
Bye.